Hey everybody! I hope you've been well. I hope you're having an awesome day. It is a beautiful, gorgeous, sunny day here in Virginia, and I'm outside, so I'm gonna have some outdoorsy things happen like bugs and stuff, but hooray! Yeah, I'm really excited to be back. I went camping for a few days and it was amazing and gorgeous, and wow, camping out here is the best. I highly recommend it. And now that I'm back, I'm going to tackle step 8 and 9 of the Money Manifestation Challenge, inspired by Spiritual Catalyst Teal Scott. Look in the info below for anything you might need to know about this challenge, as well as I will link Joanne's channel. She is also doing the challenge, and has an awesome different perspective than I do on everything, which I love. So, today, we're covering 8 and 9. Now, I'm just doing this because I actually really already covered step 8 without knowing it. So, to explain, I will, check out my blog. I'm going to do an article about it, and you can also check out step 7. So, what happened was I was watching the video that Teal has about money manifestation. And in it, every time before she gets to a new step, she'll say that number. So she'll be like, 4, blah, 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 5, blah, blah, blah. Well, in the editing or whatever, she didn't end up doing that for step 8, so I thought we were still on step 7, so I kind of lumped 8 and 7 all together. So, yeah, I just didn't want you guys to be really confused as to why I never posted 8. So I will link that accordingly. Now that I've talked about that for a couple of minutes, let's move on. So, today is step number 9 as well. And just to clarify, step 8 was take any step which will help you to release resistance relative to money. This is individual. For example, for some that may mean creating a budget, for others it may mean saving, and this was all about basically starting where you are and working up to it, and being realistic for yourself. If going on a spending spree does not make you feel abundant because you don't really trust that spending is going to create more money, you don't really, not really feeling that whole money really flowing in thing, then start where you are and do the things that make you feel good in relation to money, so when you sit down and look at your bank account, maybe instead of freaking out about the number there, you can be like, yeah, I'm doing really well. I'm budgeting things out so I know how this is all flowing and it feels good. And that's a really good step. So that is basically what that step was about. So flowing in from that one into step 9, not 5, step 9, take note of every form of abundance which is flowing into your experience, no matter how small or large. And don't take inventory / focus on where you aren't yet. Instead, trust the universe to deliver exactly what you ask for. The law of the land is ask and it is given. Okay. So, I have my own little bullet points underneath that to kind of help break it down. So I broke that step down into about 3 different parts. So first I was saying appreciate all measure of things. In her video, Teal talks about pennies. So pennies are almost obsolete. I think that they will be, pretty soon in the American money system because we don't really value it. It doesn't really hold a value to most people. And an interesting exercise to do to kind of reverse that is start picking up every piece of change that you find. And keep a piggy bank. I haven't been as diligent about this in a while, but I did have a travel fund. It was just a big jar, and I would just put change in it anytime I thought of it, because that is something that you can definitely forget. Oh yeah, that has value to it. Value is where you put it. And yeah, I've saved up really large chunks of money by doing that before. Things you'd have to work, or you think you have to work for usually. That kind of money is flowing into your experience. I bet on money alone, that you just found that just flowed to you in change, you could save a really large chunk in a year. So I'm actually going to try doing that experiment as well. It's a little bit less prevalent in the country to find change, but hey, this is manifestation. This is happening. So yeah, it's a good way to work with that. And you can start with pennies, and the more that you trust that system, the more that you're going to be open to a $100 bill or any of those kinds of things. So I'm on this journey as well. So appreciate all types of abundance. So abundance is not limited to dollars and coins. For this, an exercise that I was just doing was mentally going through my day in my head. And since I recommend typing this out if you're a fast writer, or if you just prefer writing, do that, handwrite it. But I was just typing out, like going through my day, being like, what are the things that I feel abundant in? And, like start out my day. Okay, I wake up in abundance of like pillows, blankets, love, snuggles, things like that, moving on, like toothpaste, like delicious food to make breakfast, fresh air to breathe in, trees, a car, enough gas, enough money to, buy what I need to get through the day. I mean, anything like that. And I think that is a really powerful one to do. As soon as I had even just gotten a little bit into this one, something really interesting happened to me. I'm in a very blessed, very, 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 very abundant, beautiful, amazing state of being right now, and state geographically as well. I'm absolutely loving my life, and I have to say, as a person who's had history of a lot of guilt, it's really funny to me that the more I recognize and appreciate my own abundance, some little guilt thing clicks in for me. And I realize that in the past, many people do this. We make excuses for why we don't do things, or why we don't have things, or why we aren't how we want to be. We make excuses because of the lack of abundance that we perceive in our lives. So I would be like, well, I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm not talented enough. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I work really hard, but I don't have the money to go on that trip. Whatever. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. And those are what keep us limited. Those are our perceived limitations. And by focusing on that, we can also end up resenting people who we view as having abundance. So people who have money or who have time or anything, we can get really judgmental towards them. It's like, well, if I had that, I would be doing, blank. As if the fact that you are complaining about things means that if you had the thing that you wanted, you would do the right thing. You'd suddenly be this better person. And it's kind of that wanting to just be zapped with a magic wand thing. And yet, going through this experience and creating it is what we do, and is what is so powerful. And that's what gives us our power. And so that is what I am working on, is really loving myself and understanding that that is the root of all abundance, is love. Getting comfortable with that. Okay, so that was a little side note, and then my third bullet point, stay in the moment of appreciation. So Teal says that we should not take inventory, and she gives a really good analogy in her video. You can watch that. And it kind of just makes me think, if you're like in the middle of doing a money visualization, you get done and you're like, okay, like looking for the check in the mail, looking for that surprise $100 bill you're supposed to find. It's like, okay, so that's okay, but you are getting off track if you're doing that. The fussing thing, no bueno. This is all about appreciation. So appreciate what you have, and remembering that happiness and love is the root of all of this. So when you're doing these exercises in order to appreciate the abundance in your life, like that is in and of itself a reward, you know, because what you're looking for, even with money, is really happiness. And so if you're able to connect to that aspect of it, you are honestly already manifesting what you want. Yeah, c'est vrai. So, you know, having fun and feeling happy for the sake of having fun and feeling happy is a really good feeling, and I don't think that we're very used to it. So connecting with that is very powerful. So that is step 9. I will be moving on to 10, 11, 12, and those steps might also be somewhat delayed because I am going to Yoga Jam, an awesome outdoor yoga camping festival experience coming up here. So yeah, but I will do my best to get these up soon. So I just wanted to take a minute. If you're still watching this, or even if you're not, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, doing these videos and kind of coming out in this way of positivity and abundance. And what I'm doing right now feels really good, and it feels so good anytime, you know, anybody subscribes, likes a video, watches a video, you know, whatever. Even if you don't, I send you so much love and appreciation. Just that open, I just want that to be completely free-flowing. I just appreciate the abundance in my life. And this is another avenue in which I'm letting it in, and I'm hoping to have it just flow out to everybody who's watching. Thank you for being a part of this and a part of the abundance in your world and my world. So thank you. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. Namaste to you. And nos vemos.